Good day, friends. Welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another awesome, super cool Tune Chat.
Rad.
Today we have made some cookies. They're just called cookies.
They're called cookies. They had cookies in the 18th century. Hey, it's 1796, but it's still technically the 18th century. This is from American Cookery, the first cookbook actually published on U.S. soil. Published by Amelia Simmons, who describes herself pitifully as being an American orphan. And that's just about all that we know about her.
I think it even says it on the cover.
Yeah, it says by Amelia Simmons, a American orphan. Who signs it? Anyway, but these are cookies from that book. We made it exactly like how it said, and we're going to try them, and we're going to review them for you all.
Yes, so if you want to see Justine make these cookies, please go over to our main channel. That's Early American. Over there, we cook it.
Here we eat it.
And here we eat it. So I am going to pour me up some milk.
You know what? I'm allowing Ron, who is quite lactose intolerant, to take part in this milk because I've had these already, and let me just tell you, you're going to need some milk to get these down.
Are they dry?
I don't even think I'm going to be able to finish one of these on camera.
Okay.
Not because they're dry. They're not dry.
All right, let's here we go. Let me find out for myself here. Okay. They got good sound to them. They got a little thump.
A little thump.
Oh, that's nice.
A little kaboom.
Do the desert floor crack. Oh, that's nice.
The inside is... It's kind of like a biscuit.
Okay.
I think.
That's like a good way to say
it. Looks like a tiny little English muffin, and the inside are a biscuit.
Let me try a bite first, and then I'm going to try dunking it.
Okay.
Because I'm a dunker. Clunk.
Jing.
Okay. It's like bread.
And that's about it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
These are so bland.
Let me try dunking it.
I used the exact quantities that it told me to use in the cookbook. But they're so bland. I mean...
Dunking, it's a little bit better.
I did learn something very interesting, though. When you grind up the caraway seeds, they don't taste as strongly as when you just put whole caraway seeds in them.
There's caraway seeds in this?
Yeah.
I don't taste them.
I get a little hint of it.
So I guess, like you said, grinding them up makes it...
more evenly dispersed, so you don't get a big old bite with 2 caraway seeds in it.
Oh, now I see one. I don't taste it, though.
I don't like this.
Well,
it's not terrible. Like, it would be an okay option for breakfast. But who eats cookies for breakfast?
it needs something.
Well, maybe I do sometimes.
I don't know, like...
Jam?
Honey? Jelly?
Yeah, it tastes like an English muffin.
Butter?
It tastes like if someone had the audacity to call an English muffin a cookie, this is what it would be. It is not like a modern day cookie at all. It has a very tiny hint of sweetness, so there is some sweetness there, but there's no vanilla, of course.
Go for a small one.
There's no cinnamon in it. There's no nutmeg.
It looks like a cookie. It feels like a cookie. It doesn't taste like a cookie.
It doesn't taste like a cookie. Okay, I would give it a 10 out of 10 for texture.
Yeah, that's perfect there.
I would give it a 3 out of 10 for appearance because, to be honest, they're very pale and they don't look very appealing by modern standards. For taste, I would also give it a 3 out of 10, I think.
I concur with that.
3 out of 10. If I could see myself eating these for breakfast on the side with some tea or coffee, but to dare to call itself a cookie? No.
You gotta put yourself in the right setting when you're eating these. In here, it's fine. If I was at the fort, it's November, it's cold.
In the year 1796.
I got my coffee, and I'm eating these. It's gonna be delicious. But if it's Christmas morning and my mom says, I made cookies!
Ooh,
these
yay!
are horrible.
I'd be like, I would think your mom hated us.
What did I do to deserve this kind of
I
cookie?
thought you loved me.
If you have gluten, do not eat this, because you will die.
Yeah, if you have gluten intolerance, you ain't getting out of bed for weeks after eating one of these. I can't even finish one of them.
I'm on my third one.
I feel like...
But I'm hungry.
you know, the older I get, every calorie that I put in my body, I don't want to just like needlessly eat for no reason. If it doesn't taste good, I just don't want to eat it. I don't want to put it in my mouth and chew it. I just don't want to do it.
That's a good Justine.
I took the tiniest little bite though. Okay, 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 3 out of 10 as well.
Would not recommend.
Mm-mm.
There are other things from this cookbook that are great.
Don't make these.
Don't make these unless you're making them in the context of being a breakfast biscuit.
Yeah.
Because in that case, then it's fine. Mm-hmm. But as a cookie, get out of here.
Maybe make them smaller because they're so filling.
Oh, they're so filling that it's like a biscuit.
Yeah, like I'm chewing over here.
It's like going to Cracker Barrel. You want cornbread or you want biscuits?
Yes.
I'll take the 1796 cookies. Okay. Okay, so I have something cool to talk about.
Okay.
At least for me, I think it's kind of cool. Thank you for watching the video that we put out last week. We mentioned my health issues that I'm going through. The only update that I have about that right now is I had a second positive ANA test. So I'm currently pursuing a possible autoimmune disorder. But while I was getting all these tests done, I asked the doctor if she would throw in a lead test for me. Mm-hmm. And I had to fight for this test, which is crazy, but I had to fight for it because she said, oh, it's so rare for adults to have lead poisoning. She said, I don't think you have lead poisoning. I said, miss, you don't understand what I do for a living.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah, do you know that I cook off of 200-something-year-old cookware? Yeah, that does actually contain lead in it. And she was like, okay. I know it sounds absolutely insane. It sounds borderline suicidal. But that is what we do. We cook with a lot of actual period pieces.
No, you don't. We don't chew on it. There's a
we
big
don't
difference.
nibble it.
Big difference.
No, we don't take the pan and nibble it.
Yeah.
But I know that these contain lead, these pots, because we have actually tested them. Mm-hmm. You can get these lead swab tests off of the internet, like Amazon. They're very cheap. They're like $10 for a pack. And you wet it with water and you rub it on the item. Could be a plate, could be a cooking pot. Mm-hmm. And if the color gets really dark, that's positive for lead. So I know that about half of the stuff that we cook with does actually contain lead.
But it wasn't on the highest level. It was kind of...
Well, wait, don't.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, well...
Back up.
Oh.
Beep, beep, beep.
Okay, you're where you need to be. And then some of our cooking stuff is in the middle. Some of our serving items, like the pewter, now that has a lot of lead. Mm-hmm. I have a couple actual 200-year-old lead pewter pieces. I might as well call them lead pieces. But they tested the darkest, the most heaviest for lead. They're from
purple.
The 18th century. The darkest color is a deep dark purple on the test, and they were a deep dark purple.
The lightest color is yellow. So you got yellow, going to orange, going to red, going into purple.
Okay, so most people would see this and they'd say, oh my gosh, I refuse to cook or eat off of this stuff ever. Mm-hmm. Even though the more you look into this, you find out that all of us grew up eating off of lead paint plates.
That's everywhere.
They're everywhere, actually. So, but, I always had a feeling that it was kind of a myth where it's not that easy for lead in your servingware to actually get into your system unless you are serving extremely acidic food on it. Or else people in the 18th century would have been dropping dead right and left, right? Mm-hmm. So I had the lead test done. I got the results back. This is somebody who eats off of these lead plates like 3 times a week and cooks with them maybe 3 times a week for the last 5 years. And my level is a level 2. Now you're probably wondering, what does that mean? That basically means there is almost no detectable amount of lead in my body.
That's wonderful.
So I am the human guinea pig for all you reenactors out there. And at least for me, I don't want to go out and say, okay, guys, eat paint chips now, because no, you do not want to actually eat something that contains lead. That's a big difference.
Don't use a metal spoon when you're cooking in things that could have lead in it. Don't drag your teeth on the spoon that has lead in it potentially.
Yeah.
So there's things that you can do to where and don't cook acidic foods.
Yes.
If you were using an iron spoon inside that brass kettle or that little brass pot with the leads that came back with the lead
that
positive,
has a lot of lead in it.
if you were using that would be a no-no. But if you're just using a wooden spoon, and it's nothing acidic, there shouldn't be anything wrong
if you're
with
just making chicken soup in it, it's fine. So the thing is with these lead items is, like Ron said, you don't want to actually ingest the lead. So in order to do that, you do not scrape it into your food. Mm-hmm. And that's why some kids will test positive for high levels of lead, because they're actually ingesting the lead. Like they're putting
I don't know how.
They're putting the toys in their mouth that has lead paint in it. They're chewing it. Okay. They're taking off lead paint chips and they're eating it.
Why would anybody want to do that?
I don't know. Ask a 4-year-old. You're asking
There's
someone
potato
older.
Chips in the pantry.
Yeah, go. Maybe their mama don't let them eat the potato chips. Or maybe, I don't know. It
can't taste good.
No, it cannot taste good. But anyway, for all your reenactors out there that are really, really paranoid about that, human guinea pig right here, I have extremely healthy, low levels of lead. Mm-hmm. 2 is the number that the majority of Americans are in. It's really hard to have a 1 because lead is naturally found in soil. You can get it from eating chocolate. You can get it from eating certain spices. It's just naturally present in the foods that we eat, whether you're in the 18th century or the 21st century. So no matter what, there's a little bit of lead in our environment. It's a naturally occurring metal, but a 2 is normal. And anything is like anything above a 4 for an adult, you should probably be saying, why is it what's going on? Just for your information. But yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Now there's another test you are going to do relating to last week's video with the issues that Justine's been having. Somebody suggested maybe it was Lyme disease from ticks. Well, where we are building our house at, here at the cabin, north end of the county, the ticks aren't bad at all. I haven't had a single tick on me here at the cabin. But if you go all the way out to where we're building our homestead, the ticks are horrible. And when I say horrible, I mean we will have over 50 of them on us at one time if we walk the wrong way in the woods, because they're little nymphs or seed ticks, little babies. They're so small, they're like the grains of sand. And you'll see them moving on you, and they'll bite you sometimes. And according to the internet, those can carry the Lyme disease too if they've been on a deer that have it. And then
aren't they just baby deer ticks?
Right, yeah.
The seed ticks.
So, and sometimes those are on us for over a day because we can't find them all the time until you're like, what is that? And, oh, man,
Yeah, so I'm going to, actually when we say bye here, I'm going to drive down to the lab that they have because they have a bunch of different locations. Mm-hmm. And the doctor put in a request for a tick-borne illness, whatever. There's like 3 or 4 different ones they're going to test me for. I'm really just going down the list now of trying to figure out what is the matter. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was a very bad day for me. I felt very sick. But today I feel great. It's like a yo-yo. One day I feel good, the next day I feel terrible, like I have a flu, and then it goes away. And
we've kept a diary, if you will, of food and drink and stuff, and it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
If you stay consistent or don't be consistent with what you're eating, it just comes and goes on. So
it really seems to be really random, but I did order a food allergy test as well, so I'm gonna try that. I don't know what's going on, but that's the only update I have is I'm not overdosing on lead, and I'm going to get a tick-borne illness test and a food allergy test. I'm going to a rheumatologist. I think that's how you say it. I'm going to a rheumatologist, which is a doctor who specializes in immune system disorders, and I'm going to a urologist. Yep. So that's all I got right now.
And as far as house updates go, Last week we gave you guys a pretty good one. This week there's nothing new. The painter guy still hasn't showed up. The guy's like a phantom. He'll be like, yeah, I'll come out Thursday. Okay, well, it's Sunday. We haven't seen you in 4 days since. And
the painter guy is...
He hasn't been out in 2 weeks.
The painter guy has been an interesting story. Okay, we hired someone to paint our house, the outside of our house, because he was so cheap.
And we put him on the list, or he put us on his list for the second week of September.
We're in the middle of October now.
Well, he didn't get started until...
October or something.
It was like September 30th or something. He came out for 1 day. Did a great job. He got halfway done in 1 day. And then he left all of his stuff there. Don't know where he went.
We haven't seen him since. He's just abandoned his equipment.
And his Facebook thing is set up to where, thank you for your message. We will get back to you when we can. So anytime you send something, it just keeps saying the same thing over and over. And he's told us twice since he's been out there. He was out there on a Saturday, and he said, I'll be here Monday.
He never shows up.
Because he wanted more paint, so we had more paint. And that was 2 weeks ago.
He never shows up. He'll text me and he'll say, I'm going to be out Wednesday. So we hang out all day Wednesday, and he never shows up. I think he's done this at least 7 times now where he ghosts us.
And then he just says, I'm coming on Thursday. And then he doesn't show up.
He doesn't show up. And he never gives an explanation, but he's so cheap that I am just going with it.
Well, you know what? When this is over with, and he says, well, that's going to be $1,500, Mr. Rayfield, I'd be like, I'm just going to send a thumbs up, and I'm going to make him send me another message 5 days later. just to be a jerk, because you don't, I don't know. You don't do that to people if you're a professional.
It's a little weird.
So,
I don't know.
I'm like, well, I'll get it to you when I get it to you.
Yeah, this has been dragging on for a month. By the way, we first booked him like 4 months ago.
Yeah, we called him in July.
Yeah, it's really strange.
And we said, okay, put us on your book for the second week of September. Okay, yeah, it's wide open.
All of our friends really highly rate this guy, reviewed this guy, so that's why we hired him.
They all had good experience. Their stuff was done in a week.
Yeah, their stuff was done in a week. This has been dragging on for like months now. And I don't know, it's really weird how he says, I'll be there Thursday at 3 o'clock. So we drive all the way out there because it's a construction site. The door is locked, and he needs a generator for his paint gun, and our generator is really hard to turn on, so we have to do it for him. We just drive over there, and we wait for him, and he never shows up, and he never messages us for days. I'll send him a message, I'll be like, hey, where are you at? And he ignores it.
Thank you for your inquiry.
He ignores it, and then like 5 days later, he messages me, and he says, I'll be out there Wednesday. Okay, so we go out there Wednesday. He ghosts us. He doesn't show up, and it's just like this has happening for the last month.
But actually, here's the weird thing. Yesterday we were out there, and I said, "Hey, where'd that big ladder go?" So he has like 4 ladders out there, and some buckets and stuff. This giant ladder that has like the safety things on it, where they can't topple over or whatever. Anyways, he left it up against the south end of the house. We go out there, I was like, that ladder's gone. You better text him, see if he came and got it, which would be just random because we were out there the day before. Until dark, and it was there. And when we showed up the next morning, it was gone. I was like, did somebody steal it? I was like, just send him a message, like, hey, did you come get your ladder for whatever reason? Or did somebody steal it because it's gone? And did he even respond?
He did. He said he got it. He must have came at midnight.
He came at night then.
He must have came at midnight.
Also didn't do any painting while I was there either.
No, he didn't. He just said, yeah, I got my ladder. I'll be out on Wednesday. And I just gave a thumbs up because I'm not even replying to it anymore because this is like the 7th time or whatever that he's ghosted us, so I just gave a thumbs up.
Today is Wednesday. We're not out there because we're right here with you guys now.
I bet you he's not gonna come.
We'll find out tomorrow morning.
Yes, it's weird. Why is he doing this? I don't know. But anyway, that's the only house update we have is that we're dealing with someone who's really quirky. And our house is still not done being painted. Is it going to be... I'm so desperate just to send him a message and say, is this going to be done before 2025? But I don't want to come across as a jerk and really lose him for real. But he hasn't been paid yet until the thing is done.
See, I wouldn't be complaining as much if he would have just started with the front of the house. Because that would just... I'd be satisfied then.
Yeah,
the front of the house is still ugly. I want to see it in color.
We only have the back of our house painted.
Yeah. The north and west side is painted, but the south and east side is not.
Well,
I'm full. I think I ate like 5 cookies. You guys have to like count in the video because I don't remember.
man, you're right. That did go down.
There's like I don't know, like a ball of dough sitting in here now.
That is literally what it is. It's just a ball of gluten.
Okay. Well, excuse me. That was a milk burp. Are we ready for this week's weird history fact?
We are.
Okay.
This week's weirdest history fact. Go.
Alright, this week's weird history fact actually comes to you Viva Justine.
I got this week's weird history fact for y'all. Okay, so I recently went to the Battle of Pilot Knob, which happened in Ironton, Missouri. And the site director there was walking us around. He's at the front of ours. And we noticed that there was this long strip of grass in the field right next to the battle site. The grass was really, really healthy, and it really stood out. It was like a mohawk in the middle of the field. It was really strange. And so we asked the site director about it, and he said that is actually a mass grave where there's over 1,000 soldiers who died in the battle. They were buried there. Most of them are Confederates. There's a couple hundred, maybe around 200 that were Yankees. But it got me to think, what is the largest mass grave in the United States? I thought it was going to be that. When he told me it was slightly over 1,000 people, I was absolutely shocked.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. I mean, it's freaky. So I Googled it, of course, thinking it was going to say Pilot Knob. Nope, not even close.
Not even close.
The largest mass grave in the United States, but not the world, is in New York. And it is Hart Island.
H-A-R-T.
It is an island of just dead people. There is over 1 million people in this mass grave on this island. It's right off of New York City.
It's totally not haunted.
It's totally not haunted. Yeah, I don't believe that. It has been in use since 1869, so over 100 years now, about 150 something years. It's still in use to this day. Okay, you're probably wondering, what in the world terrible battle happened where over 1 million people were just dumped off of New York? It wasn't quite like that. Okay, so this is a burial site for paupers back in the day, aka people that could not afford a proper burial. So the state would give them a free burial.
Yeah, this is a government-ran graveyard.
A government-ran graveyard, which really shows how much the government cares about you. They'll put you in a tiny little pine box. They stack you 3 boxes high. That's how they're able to fit that many people on Hart Island. So it's for paupers originally, but then in bouts of tuberculosis and other illnesses, a lot of AIDS victims were buried there as well. People that had no money, people that had no ID on them.
John Does or Jane Does.
John Does, which I was surprised that there's that many people, unfortunately, sadly, that die and they have no living relatives, and they have no ID on them. And no one knows who they are, or they test them and it comes back to being someone with no living descendants. No one wants to claim them. No one likes them even. No one is going to pay for their funeral expenses. So the government will bury you in this mass grave site on an island.
For free.
For free.
Now, you can have them removed.
That's right.
There's a directory. If you go there and find out that your great-great-uncle Silas is buried there, you say, hey, I want to take him home, put him in the local graveyard. They'll dig them up because they know where you're at because they're numbered.
They're numbered. So they assign you a number because some of these people, they don't even know their names to this day. So they'll say, he's number 1,026,000. And then maybe 5 years later, a guy will come and say, hey, my grandma went missing around this time in New York and, and then the blood test comes back, it turns out it's your grandma. Okay, so you dig her up for a fee, and you can take her and give her a proper burial in an actual cemetery. I'm really curious why they don't just cremate some of these people by this point. I know over in Europe, like in Germany, for example, cremation is much more common and popular than it is in the United States. We do not like cremation in the United States as much as we like burials.
I don't want to be burned. But still, for a mass grave of unknowns, I'm surprised that they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure they're starting to run out of room. It's been over 150 years.
And it's an island, so you can't go any farther. Maybe they bring in dirt and they just mound it up, so it's going to be...
Like a landfill? A garbage landfill.
It might be. Instead of Hart Island, it's going to be Hart Mountain. They're just going to start adding more and more dirt.
Oh, man. Okay, so what is the largest mass grave in the world?
Oh, I know.
Ronnie.
It is the catacombs under Paris, which you have actually been to.
Oh, yeah, I did go there.
Creepy! If you've ever seen pictures of that place.
It's... Okay, so from what I remember, you walk down a very long spiral staircase. And the entrance, there's multiple entrances, but it's so non-assuming. It's right on the street. And it's like this little, at least the one I went into was a little phone booth looking thing. Huh. And you open it up and you go in there and there's this long spiral staircase, very narrow.
So you don't have to pay or anything? You just go willy-nilly?
I honestly do not remember if I paid. This was when I was in high school, which was at least 72 years ago. So I don't know. I just don't remember. I went with my dad. And once you walk down there, it's pitch black. But they have light bulbs strung on the walls, or else you wouldn't be able to see anything. And they have a whole bunch of guards sitting there and make sure you don't do anything. Okay. You're not allowed to take photos. And they get very angry if you take photos. Don't ask me how I know. I tried, and I got yelled at in French. But it is bones just everywhere. I mean, after a while, you get so used to looking at it that you just become desensitized to it. You don't even realize what you're looking at anymore.
I see.
It feels like miles of bones stacked from the floor to the ceiling. And they stacked them so nicely. I mean, it's not like a pile. It's done in an artful way. So they have designs, in a way, of femur bones and skulls, and they made it look almost artsy.
They should have just left them all together. That would have been even cooler. You have a bunch of like skeletons just staring at you as you walk down this creepy tunnel.
Well, some of the rooms are just a bunch of like skulls, and then they do have a couple full skeletons, but most of it is just bones stacked up to the ceiling, and the top has skulls, and but most of the people are in there because of the plague.
Are dogs allowed down there?
I don't believe so. I mean, maybe service animals. I don't know.
It'd be in dog heaven with all them bones.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Now, there's, over, like, I think they say between 6 to 8 million people scattered down there.
Yeah, so when I said that there was over 1 million people at Hart Island, you probably thought nothing was going to top that. But 6-something million in the Paris catacombs... It is a clear winner.
That's hard to fathom. If I ever go to Paris, I'll check it out, but it just seems super creepy.
Well, a lot of it is closed to the public because it's unsafe.
Oh.
But still, the part that
Define unsafe and creepy catacombs.
It's a very dark and... Well, it's dark, but there's no electricity in it at all, so you can't see anything. Okay. And the ceilings are really uneven, and it might cave in on you because it's very deep underground.
Okay.
It's like
cave-ins,
being in a... Yeah,
evil...
cave-ins.
Monster.
Oh, there's definitely some of that as well.
I'm sure there is.
They made a movie about it.
We will have to check that out.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week.
I think that's it. We got, let's see, it's middle of October. So Halloween's coming. We're going to do the carving contest of turnips because they originally carved turnips before they carved pumpkins.
You want to do that next week?
Let's see. I have to look at the calendar. It'd either be next week or the week following.
I see.
I think it'd probably be the week following. Yep. We want to do it as close to Halloween as possible for their entertainment.
That certainly works.
And I guess that's it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Almost forgot.
Beep, beep,
Back it
beep,
up.
Beep.
Back it up. Okay, you can stop. I am working on a new vest for the Halloween episode.
I'm very proud of you, Ron.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, he's making this himself without a pattern.
Well, I did lay this on it and just kind of like traced around it, but there's no official pattern.
There's no paper pattern.
There's no paper pattern.
Anyway, I'm very proud of you. You're so humble.
Thank you. Anyways, I will be wearing it on the Halloween episode.
That's right. Now, Thank you guys.
Wait. No, I'm just kidding.
Beep,
We're done.
beep,
We're done. We're done.
beep.
Go forward. We're done.
Thank you for watching this week's Chew and Chat. Do not make these.
Yeah, they suck.
I
Even
guess
though I ate 6.
for a curiosity thing, sure, go for it. But thank you guys so much. We love you. Take care. We'll see you next week.
I'm gonna give these to the chickens. Bye-bye.